Hello, everybody. This is Dr. David Cole. It's Wednesday morning, October 15th, and this will be the week one message for Political Science 1013, fall 2025, on the second 8-week schedule. Everyone, I have been sending these YouTube clips out for some time now. Students seem to find them helpful. Generally, they will go out on Sunday. So I will try to get one out this weekend, which will be number 2. But it's the Wednesday, the first day of the term, so I thought I had better get a message out to you this morning. Everyone, your inbox should be full of announcements to launch the course, so please look at those. Announcements will be coming to your inbox, and the most recent announcements always will be up on the course homepage. You should see those if you go to the whole course homepage now, and they're also in your inbox. Everyone, 3 of those announcements have attachments which you can bring up and download and print out if you wish. The syllabus, a lengthy document about our term paper assignment, and also an outline of the first half of the course, units 1, 2, 3, and 4. The second half outline I will get to you later, but for the time being, we're just doing the first half of the course, units 1, 2, 3, and 4. Everybody, very briefly, the course requirements are, there are 4 exams, 100-point exams, and 5 discussions for 10 points each, which add up to a 50-point grade. So your grade is tabulated on the basis of 450 points on a 90, 80, 70, 60 scale. Your term paper may take the place of a low grade on exam 1, 2, or 3 if the term paper grade is higher than that exam grade. Okay. Everybody has to take the final. The final may not be dropped. So those are the course requirements in a nutshell. There'll be at least 1 extra credit assignment. The first one is the Introduce Yourself assignment, which is going out, and there's something about that in the announcements that you have received. Everyone, it's an 8-week course. It moves quickly. You can expect an exam every 10 days to 2 weeks. The first one is coming up at the end of the month on the 28th. That is 2 weeks from yesterday. Okay, Tuesday, October 28th. And our first discussion will be this Monday and Tuesday, October 20th and 21st. Okay, so that's what's coming up in the immediate future in our course. All right, everybody. I hope everything is clear. Please look at those announcements and keep an eye on your inbox and the course homepage for future announcements. That's the best way to keep up with what's going on in the course and what the requirements are and what's expected of you. So please keep an eye on that. I can be contacted through the course website. Click on Inbox in the blue ribbon on the left, and you can send a message to me through the course website, or use your OPSU email. I am at david.cole, C-O-L-E, david.cole@opsu.edu. All right, everybody, for the time being, let me finish this up by just saying a few words about Unit 1 on political participation. The first exam will cover Units 1 and 2. Unit 2 involves political parties and pressure groups, and I'll say a bit more about that this weekend. Okay. But for your first exam, you'll be responsible for my class notes on Units 1 and 2. Now, those notes have been posted to the modules area of the course website. So when you go to the course homepage, click on modules at the left, and you will see links at which you can bring up those class notes for each unit. Okay? So the first exam will cover Units 1 and 2. In addition, you're asked to look at 4 articles that you should be able to reach online. Okay? 50 items on the exam, 20 of them will be on those 4 articles. The other 30 will be on the class notes for Units 1 and 2. Now notice, everybody, You have received instructions on how to access Wall Street Journal and New York Times articles through the OPSU library website. Okay, watch that very carefully, because when I assign articles from those publications, there won't be a link, because you're expected to access those through the library website. You've got one Wall Street Journal article to look at for exam 1, and 3 articles from other publications for which I've supplied you links. Just copy those links into your browser window, and those should come up. Contact me if you run into trouble with those, but those links should work. All right. So the first exam will cover Units 1 and 2 and those 4 articles. They're in a message that says reading assignment for exam 1, October 28th. Okay, so watch for that. Watch also for the announcement about the discussion on the 20th and 21st, this Monday and Tuesday. You will want to look at a New York Times commentary for that discussion. Okay, and the information is there. There's no link, but you should enter the title of that article when you get to the OPSU library website and access the New York Times. And the message about that will tell you about how to set that up so that you can access Wall Street Journal and New York Times material. All right, then, Unit 1, everybody. Unit 1 is called Political Participation. At the very beginning, I talk a bit about the course in general and the concept of democracy. Okay, that's at the very beginning. In fact, I've sent you an email and an announcement based on the 3rd slide. Okay, now when you bring the class notes up, they're in PDF format. They are based on PowerPoint presentations that I would use if I were in the conventional classroom face-to-face with you. I would be lecturing from those notes. Okay, they're all in the class note files in PDF format in the modules area of the course website. And that 3rd slide is important enough. I turned it into an announcement and an email to you that I hope you will look at closely. All right, so we talked a little bit about what democracy means, the concept of democracy, and the condition of American democracy at this time to kick off the course. And then we want to look at political participation, okay, ways in which we can take part in the political system, because democracy really means government by discussion, in which just about all adults over the age of 18 in our country are entitled to participate, although participation can be difficult on the scale of over 300 million people at a time. But anyway, there are many ways in which you can participate. At election time, you could turn yourself into a billboard by wearing a button, putting a bumper sticker on your vehicle, or a sign in your yard. You could donate money. You donate money to parties, candidates, pressure groups, and they're very happy to have your money. And once you donate, you'll find you're on all kinds of mailing lists. And they'll take all major credit cards. They're very eager to take your money. You could do things like attending public meetings, or going online and commenting on the website of a media organization, or more than likely, very often these days, through social media websites. It might even get to a point where you would feel moved to run for public office. Most people who run for public office are well-established professionals in their communities. Well-established, successful, well-connected. Sometimes people with less than a college education get involved. That is less common today than in the past. Very often, the vehicle for such people to do that is through organized labor. You work your way up in the hierarchy of your union local, and that can be a springboard to public office. It's not all that common to do that these days compared to how things might have been in the past. Generally, it's well-established, successful professionals in a community who run for office from that community. So there are all kinds of ways of participating. All those things I named, plus voting, of course, we would call conventional participation, or participation within the system, shall we say, working within the system. But sometimes people feel so strongly, or they think that something so serious is going on, that they feel moved to take part in ways that go out of the normal bounds, which we call unconventional participation. That very often takes the form of political protest, which of course is protected under the Constitution, although time, place, and manner restrictions may have to be observed, and of course we would hope and expect that it would not be violent. But the thing about political protest is people take part in it when feelings are running high, and violence is always a possibility. So acts of political violence would be included as unconventional participation, certainly not something your instructor recommends. But there have been any number of such acts throughout American history, and especially going back to the summer of last year, the summer of 2024, when we know President Trump, then candidate and former President Trump, suffered an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania, and another one that was not quite as close a call a few weeks later on his golf course in Florida. And there have been several other such acts in the meantime, culminating just a few weeks ago in the assassination of Charlie Kirk when he made an appearance at Utah Valley University in Utah. And that's the topic for your first discussion. Okay? All right, so there are all kinds of ways, conventional and unconventional, in which you can participate. But when we teach about political participation, very often we're teaching largely about voting and elections. Now, voting by itself does not get you all that involved in the political system. It's a fairly passive way of participating. But elections, of course, do determine who gets to hold public office. Now, you'll notice we talk about two topics under voting. There's turnout and vote choice. Okay. Now, once we go to the polls to vote, as an election approaches, we may be interested in who's going to win. And to speculate about that, among other things, we need to know something about how people go about making their vote choice. What is it that moves people to vote for the Republicans or the Democrats, or Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or whoever might be on the ballot? Okay, and we discuss that at the end of the class notes. But the thing about it is, some people vote and some people do not. So before we get to vote choice, we have to discuss turnout. Who turns out and who does not, and what influences turnout. So we finish up this set of class notes about talking about voting, first turnout, and then vote choice. All right, everybody, that is it for today. We'll be talking to you again Sunday, and we will try to move on at that time to Unit 2 on parties and pressure groups. Shortly after that, we'll have our first discussion. Then the following week, right at the end of the month, we will have Exam 1. Contact me through the course website with any problems, issues, or questions, or at david.cole@opsu.edu. Take it easy, study hard, and we'll talk to you again this week.